Hi, it's Chris, and here is my review of today's reading of Reading Through the Bible in a Year Chronologically, August 7th, and today was Daniel chapter 2 and 3, and Jeremiah 7 and 8. That's what we had. So in Daniel 2, we've got Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and what really stood out to me on this one reading through this is this is where Nebuchadnezzar has a dream that greatly disturbs him, and he calls together all the magicians and stuff that he's close to and says, "Hey, you got to tell me this dream." And yeah, I'm not going to tell you the dream. You got to tell me the dream and then tell me the interpretation. They're like, "No, no, nobody can do that. You got to tell me um, the dream. You got to tell us the dream so we can interpret it." And Nebuchadnezzar's, "Nope, nope, ain't gonna do that. There's no way. You got to. Otherwise, you're gonna make it up. And if you tell me, if you don't, I'm gonna kill you all. And you guys are worthless to me. You guys are not. You're pretending to be something you're not. And I got no use for that. I need people that are gonna actually be able to do this. That are gonna be able to work with us. And and then Daniel's able to, by the grace of God, be able to come to Nebuchadnezzar and tell him, "Hey, I think I got this. Only by the grace of God can this be done." And and God reveals to him what his dream was. And he tells Nebuchadnezzar what it is, how it goes, and it's all about the coming kingdoms that are coming, and it points to Jesus. Really, it points to the kingdom of Jesus. The statue and how it's laid out, it points to the kingdom of Jesus. That's the bottom line. But what I really gathered from this is that God was able to read Nebuchadnezzar's mind. He knows our thoughts. I can't remember where the thoughts. I think that's one of the proverbs. He knows our thoughts. I'm not sure if it's a proverb or a psalm, but he knows our thoughts and ways. He knows everybody. He knows even even our deepest secrets. He knows all things about each and every one of us. He is omnipotent, and he can read our thoughts and know them. Satan does not have that power. Otherwise, he would have done the same thing with those that were following him, right? So, he called together the astrologers. Who else? The king said to the astrologers, "I'm serious about this." He called the magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers. Who are they really worshiping? Who are astrologers and sorcerers really worshiping? They're worshiping something that's pretending to be a god. Is there some things that Satan can show them and that are supernatural and know things? Yeah, yeah, they can know the goings on, and they can. There's pathways of evil, but they can't read the thoughts of man. They can't know the thoughts of a man. No evil spirit can. That's reserved for God and God alone. God alone knows it. That's what revealed to me in this. And so Daniel doesn't go to Nebuchadnezzar with nothing. He goes with a humble heart. He goes with prayer from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He goes, that's Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Um, but he urges them to ask God to pray for him and pray for them to reveal it. And then God did. And then he turned around and praised the name of God forever and ever, for he has all wisdom and power. He controls the course of the world events. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the scholars. He reveals deep and mysterious things. He knows what lies hidden in darkness, though he is surrounded by light. He is light. So he interprets the dream and he tells about the coming kingdoms. And so Nebuchadnezzar rewards Daniel. And then we get to Daniel 3, where Nebuchadnezzar builds a statue. And he says, this issues the decree. This is another awesome one. Awesome story. I love this story. This is great. So he builds a statue. And when the music comes on, bow down and worship the golden statue. It was what, 90 feet tall, 9 foot wide, or 25, no, 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. Uh, Set up in the plain of Dura. and the people were to bow down, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wouldn't. They honored the king. They said, "Your Majesty." They they remembered these four are captives. They're slaves. They were ripped away from their homeland and put in captivity. They're not there on their own accord. They're not there voluntarily, but they're there, and they are being obedient to that authority of Nebuchadnezzar, up to the point where God said, "Don't do this. Do not have other gods before me. Do not bow down to other gods. Worship only the God of creation." And that's what they do. And they say, and Nebuchadnezzar gets mad about it, said, "Hey, I said to do this. You guys aren't doing this. You're not doing me right. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to throw you into this furnace, make it 7 times hotter." So they bound him up. They threw him in. He even killed the people that threw him in because it was so hot. It killed the people that threw them into the fire. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are in the furnace, in the flames, and Nebuchadnezzar looks, and they're walking around in the flames. But there's a fourth one there. Nebuchadnezzar says it looks like a god there, and when he calls them out, he says an angel saved them. And again, it can be interpreted either way. Is it Jesus, or is it an angel? Do we know? We don't know. This side of heaven, we don't know for sure. There's lots of theories out there, but it is not, I'm not going to say it's clear. I think it's Jesus with them. But that's the way that was. God saved them. He had the power and authority to do so, and he did so. And the faith of them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they said, "We do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty." So giving honor to the king for his position. "But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to your majesty that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up." They just knew better. They couldn't do it. So they say they're saved. Nebuchadnezzar changes his tune and issues the decree that they are supposed to worship their God, and he promotes them from there. Then we get into the book of Jeremiah, and again, this is just more warning about people. Most of all, they hurt themselves to their own shame, and that's all people that are following after the wrong things. They are seeking. They don't know God, and they're hurting themselves by fighting against Him. It's terrible, but that's the warning. Jeremiah gives them the warning, and God tells them, "Hey, you're going to give them the warning. They're not going to heed it, but still give them the warning. This is what I want to show," and He just roasts them in it. God roasts them through Jeremiah through this, but the people of this evil nation who survive will wish they die rather than live where I send them, because God has spoken. So again, this is kind of the quick review of my reading, and yeah, if you're watching, appreciate you. Thanks. May the God of peace be upon you and send you peace that surpasses all understanding.